Senator, the Honorable Devant Miraj, Minister in the Ministry of Transport, Chairman of Airports Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Gerald Hadid, Chairman of the Civil Aviation Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Kimchan Rampol, Acting CEO, Mr. Robert Corby, the executive team of Caribbean Airlines, members of the media, specially invited guests, of valued customers, good afternoon and welcome. Today marks another historic milestone for Caribbean Airlines, and we're truly happy today to launch our first flight to London. Without further delay, allow me to hand you over to our chairman, Mr. Rabindra Moonan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Honorable Devant Miraj, Minister of Transport, my fellow chairman, Mr. Robert Corby, Acting CEO, members of the Board of Directors of Caribbean Airlines, members of the media, travelers, friends, family. It is my pleasure to welcome you all here this afternoon on a very historic occasion when nearly 6 years after BWIA flew from London, Caribbean Airlines is going back now to Gatwick. And Alicia gave me a prepared speech here, and really I'm at a loss to read it. So if you permit me, I will just tell you how I feel as a person and to share the tremendous pride that I feel. As chairman of Caribbean Airlines, we have been able to achieve a dream which a lot of people felt could never have happened. Today, because of the hard work of our management, our board of directors, and more importantly, the encouragement given to us by our dear minister and the government of the People's Partnership, we have made this dream a reality once more. I was standing here earlier this afternoon and I saw some familiar faces, and I wanted to put it in particular context. I met them, Mr. and Mrs. Kemraj Harikisoon, their son and daughter-in-law, who I know very well from San Fernando. We both attended Naparima College, and that says a lot. And I didn't meet him because we were old Naps boys. I didn't meet him because we are both from San Fernando. I met him because he's a traveler on this inaugural flight to Gatwick. And he told me it is historic for him because he and his family were the passengers on the last flight from London in BWIA. And today he is on the first flight to Caribbean Airlines to Gatwick. I assured him with Caribbean Airlines and with him, there will be no last flight ever again. And it tells you, ladies and gentlemen, what customer loyalty is all about. Mr. and Mrs. Harikisoon, and I'm sure that there are many others here today who display that customer loyalty to BWIA and Caribbean Airlines. And why do they do this? They do it because of the warmth, the home type of atmosphere which we offer. I met another couple who told me that they traveled on a different airline, and when Caribbean Airlines announced that we were going back to London, they dumped the other airline. I am not at liberty, as you will be very well aware, to tell you what that airline is. But I want to congratulate them once more on choosing Caribbean Airlines. You would know that we have had to make some serious business decisions in the last couple of months. We had originally planned 6 flights to London, and because of prevailing circumstances in the economy and in the airline industry, the management made a proposal to us that we have 2 non-stop flights, which we accepted. And we are in a position to tell you that we will make the turnaround and the startup costs, because in every business you have a startup cost. Members of the media would like to ask me, how much profit we are making as we fly to London today. And I will tell them that the people who sell doubles on the other side of the airport doesn't know how much profit they make the first day they come to sell doubles, because there's a startup cost. We in Caribbean Airlines need to bring the period from the startup cost to profit to a very short period as possible. And that is what we are all about. Today, on our inaugural flight, our load factor is about 65%. And I was telling Mr. Jaikaran, our vice chairman, with a load factor of 65% on our first flight, that really is a load off our shoulders, because there were a lot of skeptics outside who were saying that we could not make it happen. So I want to congratulate everybody who has made this possible today. And it's the most opportune time, I think, we have chosen to go to London, because we have the Olympics coming up, and we have a strong Trinidad and Tobago team, which we are assisting to go to London. We have a strong Caribbean team, so the airline of the Caribbean will be flying to London in the most opportune time. And I was looking at television over the last couple of days, and it occurred to me again, it could have not been a better time to fly to London when the West Indies team, the cricket team, is threatening to win a match. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to support Caribbean Airlines, because in the next couple of weeks and months, there will be exciting things happening on our airline. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd now like to call on our Honorable Minister, David Paraj, to also deliver a few words. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson, the Chairman and board members of Caribbean Airlines, the management and staff of Caribbean Airlines, other chairman, I see the Chairman of Civil Aviation Authority and other members of that board, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the media present here today. I feel very humbled at this occasion, at this very historic occasion, as we resume our first flight to London from Trinidad and Tobago after a hiatus of over 6 years. This relaunch really comes on the heels of a number of winning initiatives under the chairmanship of Mr. Rabindra Moonan and his management team and board that they have initiated within the last few weeks or so. Apart from the increases in the domestic and international flights, Caribbean Airlines have increased its air bridge service to Tobago with a number of flights in between the two islands, I think much to the satisfaction of our Tobago sisters and brothers, who are now much more comfortable in leaving at later times and getting their business done here in Trinidad and vice versa. Caribbean Airlines also introduced a jetpack service, which has been received positively by the business community, and we hope that also will increase in terms of a profit center for Caribbean Airlines. Earlier this year, for the carnival period, Caribbean Airlines also boasted of an increase in the amount of tourists brought to Trinidad and Tobago, over 18% compared to its point in time last year. It is no wonder, with all these achievements in such a short space of time, that Caribbean Airlines was once again the winner of the World Traveler Award, and I believe it's the second year running. Tobago and Trinidad, in the form of Caribbean Airlines, has a national resource that cannot be measured only in dollars and cents. It has an integral role to play in our business development, our tourism trust, and our place on the world map as a nation to be reckoned with in this part of the hemisphere. So to reduce Caribbean Airlines only in terms of its bottom line is really to minimize the contribution of this airline to the development of Trinidad and Tobago. This is not to say that the airline's contribution in terms of its profitability is one which the Ministry of Transport, its chairman and board, and indeed the government of the People's Partnership is not very concerned about. The mandate that has been given to Mr. Moonan and his board members is that they have to turn around this airline as quickly as possible by engaging in whatever strategies that is necessary to realize this goal of profitability. So you would have seen and heard about the termination of the Montego Bay to Philadelphia route. And other routes that are not profitable would also meet a similar fate. And I put them on notice that if this London to Port of Spain route does not make a profit within the specified time in your business plan, we will have to re-examine it. We cannot carry any route that is not profitable and could be measured. So you have to engage in whatever marketing support. I encourage you to liaise and work alongside the Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of Trade, and other sister ministries that could support this trust to London, as well as to other areas. Caribbean Airlines, I know, is driven by its customer service. The service and services offered by Caribbean Airlines is unparalleled here in Trinidad in terms of your competition. Others offer you dinner mint and peanuts at a price. Caribbean Airlines give you a full callaloo meal included in your price. This is what we have become accustomed to in Trinidad and Tobago on Caribbean Airlines. We are accustomed with 2 suitcases, overpacked and overloaded, and we want to get it on the plane at no extra price. Other airlines give you 1 piece of luggage and you have to pay for anything else. At this launch, the chairman advised me, stay away from the politics. But I feel I am a little hardened. It is also a bittersweet sweet moment. So I will not talk about the sale of the Heathrow slots for 5 million when it should have been sold for 43 million. I wouldn't go into that, Mr. Chairman. I wouldn't go into the fact that we felt at that time that our patrimony was robbed and squandered away for pittance, and that we were denied access to the all-important Heathrow Airport. Could you imagine what Caribbean Airlines would be today if we were flying into Heathrow Airport in an Olympic year? This would be a premium airline that others would be looking to jump on board. But I wouldn't speak about what we have lost, the opportunity there. I wouldn't speak to the fact that the Attorney General, I am advised, is very near completion of his forensic audit of that sale of the Heathrow slots. I refuse to call it a sale. It's more like a steal of the Heathrow slots. I wouldn't want to go into that, Mr. Chairman. I think now is the time of a celebration. I wouldn't want to go into holding those who manage the cockpit of Caribbean Airlines accountable for the sale of those Heathrow slots over 6, 7 years ago. And venture as to what entered their minds to sell a slot that was valued at some 43 million pounds for 5 million pounds. I wouldn't want to go into that. I wouldn't want to remember that an airline that I'm told from Ireland flew into Heathrow empty just to ensure that they kept their slots while we were giving away our slots. So while we celebrate today our re-entry into the London skies and eventually points into Europe, because I want to share with you here that we had a meeting with the Tobago Chamber of Commerce last week when the cabinet met in Tobago, and there was a strong, heavy, intense lobby from the Chamber of Commerce in Tobago that we should utilize this entry into Europe via London to access the Scandinavian markets, which they see as very important to the Tobago tourism sector growth. And it's a cry that we are not deaf to. We have launched a Tobago JFK route. That is in its very embryonic stages, and we hope that that will grow from strength to strength as we lend support, as we buttress the efforts of the Ministry of Tourism and indeed the very belligerent THA that still refuses to meet with the Ministry of Transport when we invite them to a meeting. But nevertheless, we will attempt to support the efforts of the tourism efforts in our sister isles of Tobago, because it's not only about the administrators of the THA, those who pull the levers of state there for this time until the election, but it's really the bigger picture of how Caribbean Airlines could help Tobagonians as we develop the economy there with the tourism sector. We want to see more tourists coming into Tobago. We want to see more hotels being filled. We want to see more taxi drivers, more tour operators operating. We want to see all these benefits linked to our activities in Caribbean Airlines via our route in London and hopefully our marketing efforts in Europe. As a result, this entry has to be celebrated as a rebirth, not only of Caribbean Airlines, but the potential of what it can bring. So without any further ado, let me congratulate you once again for this very brave and bold step of returning to London. However, be mindful that every step of the way you will be monitored and watched and policed, if you will, by the government so as to ensure that we do not repeat the mistakes of the past. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. And, I'm sorry. I'd like to call on our cultural ambassador, Mr. Marshall Montano. Marshall is a special member of the Caribbean Airlines family, and he flies on no other airline but Caribbean Airlines. Marshall, make your way to the stage. We're going to show these London guards what Caribbean culture, Caribbean family, Caribbean energy is all about.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. See, that's the warmth of the Caribbean. We have a lot of power. Huh? Well, I'm going to make my speech very short, and I think I'm going to make it very musical. So here's the new Caribbean Airlines to London jingle. Take it away, Mr. DJ. Gentlemen, you're not allowed to whine. Give me some more volume on the music. Here we go. More music. This is brand new. Here we go. I feel to fly. Caribbean Airlines is home to me. Everywhere I wanna. Caribbean Airlines in the air. There's a sunshine deep within that's all Caribbean. And now we're #1 to fly you to and from London with Caribbean energy. Real warmth like family. Put your hands up now, let me hear you say. I feel to fly. Caribbean Airlines is home to me. Everywhere I wanna be, I wanna fly up to and from London. Happy, everywhere I wanna be. Caribbean Airlines in the air. Now this is your turn. Can I get everybody to clap your hands like this? Show them some warmth. Here we go. Hey, I feel to fly. Caribbean Airlines is home to me. Everywhere I wanna be. Caribbean Airlines in the air. There's a sunshine deep within that's all Caribbean. And now we're #1 to fly you to and from London. Caribbean energy, real warmth like family. Put your hands up now, let me hear you say, yeah, feel to fly. Caribbean Airlines is home to me. Everywhere I wanna be, wanna fly up and down to and from London. Say be, everywhere I wanna be. Caribbean Airlines in the air. Thank you very much. Welcome to the inaugural flight, ladies and gentlemen.